Hey everybody, this is Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater, and you are watching CMS TV.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. Kicking off the show tonight, we heard New American Shame with Broken Bones. And we just heard Pin Siren there with Hung Like Jesus. And a guy who knows a little bit about being hung like Jesus after all the torture this man's been through, my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on there, Chris?
What is up, man? What's happening?
Well, it's another Saturday. Week has flown by once again, and here we are.
It has. This is definitely a quick one this week. I looked up, was like, fuck, here we are again.
I know. It was an extremely fast week. So
yeah, no kidding.
I was just like, holy shit, it's time to do the show again.
That's right.
So here we are.
All the goodness of last week erased. Time to start over.
Yeah, erase the slate and start again.
That's right.
Although last week was a fun show. I had heard from several people they loved the Liver Lips McGrowl segment.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
my nephew said I had to listen to that twice.
Nice.
And then of course Sal was into whole liver lips and all that kind of stuff. But several people hit me up, said, "Oh, that was fucking funny, man."
Yeah, and it's so weird that, like for me, anyway, I just never ever even thought of that.
I never did either.
Never. I just don't even remember where I heard it, but it was old when I ever first heard it. It was never something I used.
I think it was on like cartoons. I think it was like something like maybe Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, like Foghorn Leghorn or something.
Yeah, it's like look out, liver lips or something,
liver lipped varmint or something like that.
Exactly, like Yosemite Sam would say something like that.
Yeah. I never ever remember it, but I mean, I knew the term, but I had no idea what it ever meant. And
right
now that I do know, so what?
What's so funny? We got people in today's world. All they do is just dig and dig and dig, just looking for something that's racist. Mm-hmm. That's all they do. Is they just try and find one little ounce of something that of Americana that they can somehow tie to racism.
Yeah, because it's the easiest one. It's the easiest word that if they say it to you, so many people are too big of pussies to say, you know what, fuck you. Everybody's so afraid to be called a racist that they're just, that they kowtow to. Oh, I'll never use that word again.
Right, of course.
I won't even say LL because that's too close.
Well, see, now that I know what liver lips is, I just may use that now.
Oh, dude.
A term I've never used in my entire life. Now I'm going to use it.
Yeah, I mean it's just getting to being ridiculous. Everything's ridiculous.
It is. It is.
I've heard this one this week too. Mispronouncing. I'm going to keep saying it. Kamala. I don't give a shit if it is Kamala.
Kamala.
It's Kamala, but it makes more sense to my brain, who's watched wrestling forever, to call her Kamala.
Right.
Like the big fat goofball that was Kamala.
Right.
She's a big old stupid idiot just like that Kamala.
Right, of course.
And now and God forbid now, I heard this week that I was racist. I got a message, and I think on the Seth show or somewhere, that I was being racist by calling her cackling Kamala.
Why? Because
that's racist.
Because she is a cackler.
That's racist. Can't say that.
Is it?
Apparently, you're not allowed to say anything. If you don't advocate for everything this stupid cunt says, you're a racist. So I'm a racist because I'm never going to advocate for that stupid cunt.
Well, again, that's how they beat down or attempt to beat down the opposition. They've got nothing of substance to work with, so they have to figure out an end around to somehow shame you for having a viewpoint that is more well thought out or is fact based or whatever the case may be. It's all show over substance.
Well, I'm hopeful, and I'm not I'm not by any means going to bet even a nickel on it, but I'm hopeful that this is the election where people finally stand up and are like, fuck you, not playing your pussy fucking games. Call me whatever you want, because I really don't give a fuck what you think.
Right, of course.
Because it's time for that. Otherwise, we're going to keep down this same path where it's like, dude, trying to watch anything on YouTube. I don't know how anybody watches anything regularly on YouTube. Anything of a political nature is, well, he showed up with a pew pew and he unlived him and he
unalived him. Yeah.
Unalived him with his pew pew and in the coof when I got the pip pip on my arm. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking children. I have one show that I do generally. I mean, I have a bunch of shows that I generally watch, but in the political spectrum, one that I think I watch and you don't, I don't think we've ever really talked about it before, is a show called The Quartering. There's this guy, Jeremy.
Well, you've told me about it. I've never watched it, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. He's gone way off the deep end. He does a show with Styx, actually, a live show with Styx on Rumble.
Okay.
On like Wednesdays, I think he does a show with Styx. I mean, he's legitimately connected. He does stuff with Crowder here and there, and does stuff with Styx, and he's pretty legit. He has 1 million or 1.5 million followers on him or whatever. But he's gotten to be unbelievably ridiculous to watch. Because everything's like, well, he got the pew pew he got shot with the pew pew, and then he got the coof when he was recovering from being tried to be unalived, or, it's like, just say the words, faggot. Jesus Christ.
Well, but the thing is so many of these YouTubers, they depend on that YouTube revenue for their to have a career, I guess, and so they're willing to bow the knee in order to accept that revenue money.
Yeah. Then none of them should be bitching about the Olympics, because they're already cocksucking faggots as it is. They're endorsing cocksucking faggots like what's going on at the Olympics. So
you know what? I have zero interest in what's going on with the Olympics. Who cares?
Oh, well, it's actually. Did you watch any of it at
all?
No, you didn't see none of it.
No, none of it. Zero.
Oh, we're going to have some fun tonight.
Well, that's good. I like when you bring stuff to the table that I am totally unaware of.
Well,
I mean, I know it's going on, but I've got zero interest in what's happening over there.
I'm so ready for that I have 4 different video clips for you to watch.
All right, very good. Very good.
Yeah, I have no interest in the actual sport of it at all now, but what little I had was taken out by, I'll give you a teaser. There's literally a man's ball bag out in one of the fucking opening ceremonies.
Very good.
That's how bad it is.
Well, the only thing I know about the Olympics so far, I think I know 3 things. I think that number 1, Snoop Dogg had something to do with it.
Yeah, he carried the torch.
Okay, that's all I know is Snoop Dogg was involved.
Why wouldn't you have a guy that was, not convicted, but went to court for murder? Why wouldn't you have him carry the torch to represent our country? Then
the other thing is Celine Dion has made an appearance like the like the groundhog on Groundhog Day. That's all I know.
That.
Well, she made her quote unquote comeback. I guess she appeared at the Olympics, I guess, and sang a song or something.
Did not see that.
And the third one is some bicyclist or something already got disqualified for some cheating or something.
Well, you know more than me as far as the actual.
Yeah, but again, I don't know who they are, where they're from, or anything. That's all I know. That's all I've seen. That's all I know.
Well, I'm not going to lie and try and tell you, well, I wasn't watching it and I saw clips. I absolutely tuned in. I'm an Olympic. I don't want to say an Olympic guy, but I have interests in the Olympics because I've been to the Olympics. I went to the 88 games in Seoul.
Oh, that's right. So you were in the military at the time.
Yeah, and I went every day of the 21 days that it was there.
I
literally went. So I have interest in the Olympics. I mean, it's not the same as being there, but I've always kind of, even before I went and saw it, I mean, there's always Lake Placid and whatever, the hockey team.
Sure, of course.
you know, and actually being there, I was there when two of the biggest Olympic controversies ever happened. Greg Louganis cracking his head on the fucking diving board and bleeding when he had AIDS, and everybody was freaked out and didn't want to jump in the pool after him because he had AIDS.
Right.
And then Roy Jones Jr. knocking down the Korean guy 3 times and then losing the fight, and a damn near riot broke out in the venue, and we were there. It was crazy.
All right.
We were sitting right behind Roy Jones Jr.'s dad. His dad was holding a big old bowl of ramen noodle soup because they served that instead of like burgers or whatever.
Okay.
He fucking threw that big ass hot bowl of soup on some Korean guy's neck and burned up his neck. Started a big old fight. It was funny as fuck. But I do watch. I generally watch the Olympics. I don't really watch summer as much anymore. You know, really the only thing I like is that curling. I'm all about the curling, the thing with the fucking brush.
That's such a bizarre,
it's stupid
event.
It is. It's stupid. But
I mean, can you actually call that a sport? It's like an event. It's like an activity more than anything else.
Well, I mean, there is a skill to it, I guess.
I'm not saying it's not skilled. I'm just saying, is it a sport though? It's an activity. It's a skill, but you know, it's not like you know, there's not somebody defending you from getting that puck thing down the ice.
Well, there is the other team. They throw their blocks in there to block you from scoring.
Yeah.
There's strategy to it. It's kind of like golf. Is golf a sport or is golf not a sport?
No, it's not.
It's sort of. Could it be?
It's a hobby that makes some people some money.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what this is. That's the same with. Is it a sport when they slide down the Winter Olympics, when they go down the big old ramp and then they jump? You know, how far they can go. Is that really a sport?
No, it's a show of athleticism, but it's not a sport. That's not to take away from the fact that people have to train and be in good shape and all that to perform that stunt. But was Evel Knievel jumping buses a sport?
See, and that's another one. Some would say yes because he had to. Some would say it was because nobody else could do it. He had to train. He had to. Yeah, but he had to be in shape.
That didn't take away the skill level or the ability or anything else. But it's not a sport because there wasn't somebody out there blocking him from jumping the buses. You
No,
know?
but the distance would be the sport. The sport of it would be who could get the furthest, and why. Does he bend down and is he aerodynamic the right way? And, you know, does he get to the right speed as he comes off of the ramp and all? I mean, again, and I'm not trying to defend it. I mean, I think we're almost to the point now that cornhole's about to be an Olympic event. Exactly. I mean, because cornhole's every bit as much a sport as curling.
I agree.
It's every bit as much.
And thank goodness they got a big sponsor like Johnson's Brats to sponsor that event.
That's right.
they've got shirts. They've got uniform shirts that look just like NASCAR guys, you know, and they got the patches all over it. And same thing with bowling. Bowling's not a sport. It's just an activity.
And there's some that would tell you it is a sport.
Not a sport. It doesn't mean you're not good, and it doesn't mean you're not skilled. It's just not a sport.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's really hard to it's hard to say yay or nay or whatever with any of it because it's, you know, I don't think the term is well enough defined. You know, what is the difference between being able to throw? Like, I can't throw a strike in bowling to save my life. But I could hit a baseball.
Right.
Now, does that make bowling more of a sport because I can hit a baseball, which is considered a sport?
In my opinion, or in my viewpoint, a sport is when you have an offense and a defense.
Okay.
That to me is a sport because
so chess could be a sport.
In some regard, I guess. You know, it is a skill thing, but it's more of a sport if you could reach over there and knock somebody's pieces off the table with that, you know, and they have to defend you from knocking your pieces off.
Right. I mean, it's weird because you'll call chess a sport and bowling not.
Yeah.
So, again, you're getting into the minutia of it.
I know, but you don't have somebody down there blocking the pins,
True.
from you hitting the pins. You know, you don't have little midgets down there, you know, scurrying back and forth to stop your ball from hitting the pins or something.
Right.
You know.
No, I dude, again, I'm not
Oh,
arguing the point. I'm just
and sorry, I used the word midget.
well, that's fine with me. At least you know I ain't gonna complain.
Midget.
Midget is still a word. It's as much a word as chess is a sport, as far as I'm concerned.
Right, of course. Of course. It's hysterical. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what you bring to the table tonight, because again, you know, sports in general and everything is money driven these days. Everything is advertisement, money driven, you know, endorsement driven. I know that's existed for a long time, but now it's gotten to the point to where that's all it's about now.
Yeah, that's it now.
Who's the next superstar? Who's going to be our new face? Who's going to be the, you know, I mean, I think probably the most famous person for being famous as an athlete is obviously Bruce Jenner when he got on the Wheaties box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's back in the 70s, mid 70s. So
sure.
But prior to that, can you talk about an athlete who was what's the word I'm looking for? Elevated due to their sponsorship.
Oh, in the Olympics?
Well, in any sport.
God, before Bruce Jenner. Well,
elevated due to corporate sponsorship.
Oh, to corporate sponsorship. No, because I mean, the next sport to really have that, I guess, would have been basketball when Michael Jordan started selling shoes.
Right. There you go. So what I'm saying is that prior to Bruce Jenner getting on the Wheaties box, which is iconic in today's day and age, regardless of what its gender is now.
Sure.
That's kind of where, at least from my recollection, where that corporate sponsorship elevated a athlete or sports figure to the public, into the public psyche because of their visibility on a commercially sponsored thing, and everybody knew about Wheaties. You know? So,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, dude, how hard is that to believe that that's what, 45 years ago or something?
Yeah, what was that, 76?
76, 40 years ago?
Yeah.
50 years ago?
50 years ago, yeah.
Jeez, oh man. And now Bruce Jenner is, you know, a cocksucking queen.
Well, whatever he or she or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever. It's he. I don't think he got his dick cut off. It's a he.
Yeah.
Even if he did get his dick cut off, it's still a he. What am I saying? What's wrong with me?
Biologically, always a he.
When they dig up his bones in 150 years, they're not going to say, looks like he chose to be a woman.
Yeah, sure. I mean, she's kind of an older lady now, but at least he got to bang Kris Jenner.
So what?
Ugh. I said now. I mean, have you seen pictures of her back?
Yeah, she's all right. I mean, look, obviously she sucked cock well enough to fucking be out in that crowd.
Exactly.
So she had to look pretty good, but
but yeah, even Kris Jenner, even being around beautiful women like Bruce Jenner was, you know, for the most part of his life, couldn't keep him from wanting the desire of the cock.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah,
I like your reaction. I don't know.
Whatever. She birthed demon spawn on top of it. Ugh.
Right. Exactly.
Everything about her is just disgusting.
So anyway, we're back, and it was just been a fun or fast week for me, and it was a fun show last week, and I'm looking forward to bringing you something tonight. Yeah.
It's time to do it again. I always get that weird place on a Saturday in the afternoon. I was sitting there and I'm like, I gotta fucking do this again. We gotta be good again. You know, it's that whole, you know, last week is last week. Doesn't matter how good it was. That's over.
Yep. That's yesterday's news.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Do one bad segment this week, and everything good from last week won't mean shit.
That's exactly right. Now you had a pretty good week this week with your other broadcast shows.
I did. Yeah, they were good.
So why don't you bring us up to date with your with what you covered on Seth Williams and of course Chris Aiken Presents.
Holy shit! You're gonna make me remember. What did we cover? I know on Chris Aiken Presents we talked about Eric's ridiculous travel problems because of the Crowdstrike.
Crowdstrike, yeah.
Yeah, and it took him 2 days to get back from Ohio. Like he left here like Sunday morning at like 6 a.m. and got home Monday night, like 7 o'clock at night Monday, because he couldn't get the fuck out of. First he couldn't get out of Cleveland, then he got to Atlanta and got stuck in Atlanta, and yeah, he had all kinds of problems there. And I'm trying to think, what did we talk about on Seth's show?
Well, but before you move forward with that,
yeah,
and we'll get back to that in a second. This whole CrowdStrike thing. What's your thoughts on that? And a lot of people probably don't even know what that is.
It's I mean, I don't know how to talk about this without making it techie.
Yeah.
There are certain files that make your whatever you're running work. Your Windows, your Mac, your Linux, whatever you use.
It's your operating system.
Yeah. And CrowdStrike is a piece of software that works within other software to make it all work. So
isn't that also a security thing?
It is. It is part of a security thing, but the bottom line is what it does when you install whatever they installed to run, it kind of integrates with all your other stuff.
Right.
You know, just like when you install virus protection. When you install virus protection, I'll try and keep this easy as possible. When you install virus protection on your Windows machine, it'll detect any change to any file on your computer, more or less.
It'll more populate throughout your whole system to ferret out any kind of a virus or any kind of, something in your system that shouldn't be there.
Right. So at its core, that's a virus, more or less, because it infects your, and protects. And this CrowdStrike gets out there and they pushed a bad patch. As these guys push patches all the time, every software pushes updates. And if anybody has a Windows computer or a Mac, you're certainly aware of the updates. And they pushed a bad one, and allegedly they pushed a bad one. But and it took down a lot of shit, banks, but Delta really got fucked. They must have done everything that they could possibly do with whatever company used CrowdStrike. And it took them completely out. Like all their systems went to shit. And that's their own fault, really. I mean, that part there is what major enterprise uses Windows as their primary everything?
Microsoft, you mean?
Yeah. Because, what major enterprise company on that level uses a Microsoft product? The one that's most known for being hacked. They make virus protection specifically for Microsoft product. It's everybody always jokes that the Macs are pretty much I'm not saying you can't get a virus on a Mac, but I've had Macs for 12 years. I've never had one, and obviously in the big industrial world, most people use like Linux or Unix or stuff like that. If they're old fashioned COBOL and all the older stuff, that stuff never gets hacked either. So why $1 billion company is relying on a Microsoft product is a little crazy, but especially to have it work with all of their systems.
Right.
I mean, it was from the way I understand that it took things down with Delta. They didn't know if their people had checked in and out, like clocked in and out. They didn't know if their schedules had gone out. They didn't know the flight schedules. The radar systems weren't working because it took everything out. Everything was blue screen of death at every level at Delta. And yeah, it really... I got to give it to anybody that actually took a job and flew on Delta while that was all going on. Fuck that. Do you want to fly on something because, that they've just told you everything's jacked up on and have a chance that it just crashes mid-flight? You might crash mid-flight. Fuck that. There's no way. I'd have been, the minute that happened, I'd have been like, hello, Southwest. Or, let's see what you got to offer.
Right, of course. All right. Well, getting back to your shows and the topics you covered. So aside from Eric's mishaps just trying to get home, I know that you covered some Sebastian Bach on.
We did talk about Sebastian being a fucking douchebag on the Seth show. That is true, on the bonus coverage. That dummy. He's such a fucking pud. He really is. It's like, I like his music. I always will, but man, is he an idiot. He just went on a Twitter rant, raging, just answer after answer after answer after regular schmoes, and just saying, well, you're not, if you don't believe in Joe Biden, then you're not smart enough to fucking listen to my music.
Yeah, if you're a conservative, you're not cool enough to listen to my music.
Yeah, okay, cocksucker, fair enough. Enjoy your half-sold shows.
Right, of course.
What would possess a guy whose career is clearly waning to just cut the throat of half of his audience? Is he that rich? Is Sebastian Bach that rich that he just doesn't need half of his audience that'll just blindly spend money on him?
Well, that's what happens. That's what ideologues do, is they don't put any reason or rational thought into what they believe. They're just ideologues.
Yeah.
They just have an ideology that they believe. It's no different than, a terrorist, bomber or something. They just have an ideology, and, it's to the greater good of Allah, and
right.
It's like, oh yeah, jumping into a plane and, running it into some buildings and, basically committing suicide. No problem.
Right. But we talked about that, and we talked about, what's her name? Cheadle.
Yeah.
Just getting murdered in that,
Interesting
in that
choice
congressional hearing. Yeah, it really was. But she got pummeled in a way I've never seen anybody get pummeled. But I honestly think that's all just a fucking setup. I don't care. Hello, YouTube. I don't give a shit. I think the whole thing. I think all of that shit is just. I'm not saying that. A couple people were like, because me and Eric talked about it a little bit, and it was mentioned that it could have been Trump that set some of it up, to boost his thing. We were just going over all the different theories.
Right, of course.
And of course, that means that I said that and blah, 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 whatever. But I just don't believe, and I can't believe that the Secret Service could fail on that level accidentally. And I spent a good amount of time this week and last week listening to Bongino, who used to work for the Secret Service and obviously protected presidents.
Right. And
he was, I know what I know, which is very little comparatively. I mean, because I used to sort of do this work on a much lower level. But Bongino did it for Obama. He did it for a president. And just hearing him say, well, this is a fail, and this is a fail, and this wouldn't happen, and this wouldn't happen, and here's what they would have done ahead of time, and here's how many days they would have done it ahead of time, and there'd never be a drone flying over day of. They'd have canceled the whole fucking event over that. And, hearing him, I was just like, yeah, this shit is not just fucking an oops. It's not an oops. It's somebody made that shit happen. It was far more organized than some wacko 20-year-old climbed up on a roof that nobody happened to be on with a direct line of sight to the president and took a shot. That's a little crazy. That just does not pass muster.
Right.
So yeah, we talked about that, and of course, tons of people throwing their fucking brilliant comments at us about that. And whatever. I'm so tired of people thinking that because we have a show, that means we give a fuck what they think.
Right.
We don't.
It's just, get your own show.
Yeah. Believe me, you're commenting on the fucking Rumble or on YouTube or whatever. It's not going to make me change my opinion. Fucking idiots.
It's just, when will people get the idea through their head that what we do is just strictly entertainment? That's all it is. Strictly entertainment.
Well, I guess it depends on the person, because I know that, speaking of, now you reminded me what we did talk about on the Seth show. Fucking Seth gets into these goddamn Facebook wars with everybody, and he gets really fucking butthurt about it.
That's his biggest downfall. He should not be on Facebook.
I tell him that all the time. I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck? Who cares? They said I'm a racist. So what?
Who cares?
They're a fucking blip on your screen. Who gives a fuck? Just leave it alone. Who cares?
That's what happens when you put yourself out there and you want to interact and all that kind of stuff. I'm never bothered with any of that at all.
There's the rare occasion that I'll answer something, and when I do, it pisses people off more because I don't answer anymore with I'll show you one that I did today, and it fucking made this person absolutely pissed off. They were hammering at me and you.
Well, who cares?
I know. But I mean, they were yapping about the Michael Jackson thing that we did.
Okay, that was just covering a story.
Yeah, well, here, look at it. You're going to laugh.
I'm already laughing, and I have no idea what you're going to show me.
Please do some research before you speak. You have the whole Michael Jackson story wrong. He was innocent. Look at the trial that proved him innocent.
Oh, boy.
As far as money, he was far from broke. He still had the catalog, and if he finished This Is It tour, he would have raked in more money than anyone before. The estate is worth over $1 billion. So please do a little research before speaking and spreading false rumors.
Well, again, everything that we covered on the show was in the article. It wasn't us making that up and reporting that. It was what an article basically said.
Right. Well, and then
we commented on the article. We weren't reporting news.
Well, I answered this guy or girl. I said, no. Just no.
You're rude. Y-O-U-R, not Y-O-U, possibly R-E. You're rude.
You're rude. Also ignorant of the facts.
Yeah.
And my response, yep. I'm not going to fucking fight with you. Fuck you.
How stupid.
That's as far as I'm willing to fight. That's it. And I guarantee you, me just saying no, to you need to do this and you need to do that, and me just saying no, that pissed them off way more than if I'd have wrote a book.
So what?
I don't care. Fuck them.
I mean, it was such a non-thing. It was just a human interest story. That was all it was. Nothing more, nothing less. Nobody was retrying Michael Jackson on the world stage.
Yeah, of course
this is what the article said. The guy was broke when he died. End of story. Could that possibly be true? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
just like that the person was so butthurt because I just said no.
And again, I always like, why do they care so much?
Yeah, I know. Who gives a shit?
Why do you care so much?
You know what? Block the channel and don't fucking follow us anymore, you cunt buck. Whatever word I'm trying to say here, I don't even know. Spitting, not even getting good words out tonight.
It's so dumb, man.
It is. Fuck them. Just so the internet is just a dumb fucking place.
I agree. I completely agree. That's why I just don't get involved with it. It's just so dumb. Mm-hmm. I mean, my opinion has no more weight than yours.
And we've never said that it does.
It's just you give your two thoughts and that's it.
Dude, literally every video that we put up, me, you, Seth show, Chris Aiken Presents, any of these fucking shows, every one of these fucking shows has a disclaimer on it. Everything said here and on every episode of all of our shows are 100% the opinions of the host.
Yeah.
Nothing is stated as fact. Do your own research to see if their opinions are true or not.
Yeah.
How much more clear can I be than that? We're not fucking newsmen. We're rattling from the fucking hip.
Yeah, I'm not Wendell Brokaw here.
No. Chris Cronkite here with the news. Fuck out of here with your fucking whiny comments, you fucking
just bringing
jizzbags.
you some entertainment just to forget your hard work week. That's it.
Yeah, talking about news stories just like you would if you were hanging out with a buddy, having some lunch or a beer or something.
Right.
You fucking idiots.
So dumb.
I know, but whatever. Some people like to fight.
Well,
And Seth spends hours on this shit.
I wonder who did. Let's see.
I know. I used to, and now I don't.
What was that guy's name? He used to write.
I know.
Monologues and catalogs.
Learn my lesson. Learn my lesson, my friend. Now there ain't none of that happening. Because honestly, I don't have time to do it for one, and B, I don't have care enough to do it.
Right.
That's the same as when people say I'm an ist or a phobe. You're a homophobe. Yep.
You're probably right.
By your definition, I'm certain I am. So suck my fucking faggot dick.
Well, you got to thank the Obama years for increasing your typing skills. That's for sure. Because you were
true.
Typing away.
I was back then. Now
I just banging out on that keyboard 24 hours a day.
Now I just can't be bothered.
So funny. I just remember, and it's been a while ago. I mean, it's been like 14 years ago. But man, you used to sit there and just bang away on that keyboard.
I would.
Write
somebody would,
dude.
Somebody would write, "Obama's saving the country," and I would write 3,000 words on why he's not. I would just write and write and write and write. You know, it's just now it's like, nope.
That was your white supremacy making you do that.
Yeah, it was my privilege.
Your privilege and your white supremacy.
I was privileged to have that time. If I was a black man, I wouldn't have had that time.
If you were a black man, you wouldn't be able to type like that.
Yeah, I'd be running from somebody trying to get alimony or child support. Did I say that? I guess that makes me a racist.
I guess it does.
Guess it makes me a racist.
Holy shit.
I made a joke.
I know. How dare you?
I'm a racist now.
How dare you make a joke? There'll be no joking involved, Pally.
Shut up, Sal. He wouldn't fight me. I'd break Sal in half.
Yeah, I think Sal should just be Seth's new co-host.
I'm for it.
I'm sure you would be. I'm sure that's one last thing off your table that you wouldn't mind having.
Yeah, well, if Sal wants to do it, when he's done testing Bud Lights every day, he can fucking take that gig.
Right.
He can have it.
Yeah, he could co-host with Seth. Those two would, those two would be like the Thompson twins of politics or something.
Yeah, you could call that show "Trump's Dick Tastes Great," featuring Seth and Sal.
Right, of course, the S&S show.
The S&S show.
Yeah,
they know how Donald Trump's dick tastes, and it's like cotton candy.
Right, of course.
Because they would be lapping his balls. The two of them together would really be all over it.
Yeah. I'd like to see that, though. That'd be interesting, even if it was just a one-off.
Dude, we could, anytime Sal wants to do it, any Monday, any Wednesday, 3:30 his time, that door's always open.
Right.
I'd love to have a day off.
So there you go, Sal. The call for your service is out there. So are you going to answer the call? That's the whole thing.
He won't.
So what else is going on in the world of Chris Aiken?
Squat, work, work.
Yeah, it's been busy for me too this week. I just been, wheeling and dealing and making some pretty sizable deals this week, and basically setting things up that'll take me through the end of the year. So
that's cool.
Just exhausting though.
Yeah,
exhausting. Just a lot of planning, a lot of mental gymnastics, as it were.
Right.
And but it's all good. No complaints.
And you're probably set up in a way so that probably around December 1st you'll be kicking your feet up on the desk, right?
Well, yeah, that never happens. I I would like to be able to do something like that, but that's one thing you and I both have in common. We can only do that for a very, very short time, and it's just like, oh, I got to be doing something.
Yeah, day 3, I can't. Like, I keep having people tell me I need to take a vacation because I am pretty burned out. I ain't gonna lie.
Sure. I am too.
And I've thought about just packing it up for a week and just saying, I'm done for a week.
Would you just stay around the house, or would you consider?
I actually thought about going somewhere. Just
where would you go?
honestly, I've always this is going to sound stupid, but I don't have a destination in mind. I literally would throw 3 dice, and let's say it was 361. I would drive 361 miles, and that's where I'd stop. I've always wanted to do that. Just kind of throw some dice and totally go at it randomly.
Okay.
And just kind of be like, okay, 360 miles, I'll go west. Go wherever that takes me to. I don't know where that would take me to. The other side of Indiana or more. I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, you would know better than me, but wherever that would take me, stop there, see what that city has to hold for a week. Even if it's just a fucking old shitty movie theater and and a Motel 6. I've always just wanted to do that. Just totally. Anytime I plan something, it always sucks because it never lives up to the plan.
Well, you know what the thing is, and I just know this from experience. Only since now, over the last couple of years, the only person I will travel with is Taylor.
Right.
She's the only person I'll travel with because number one, she doesn't give me a problem, no attitude, doesn't act out, doesn't have expectations, is just happy to be there and wants to just enjoy the adventure.
Sure.
So the company that you keep on a trip of some kind is what usually will make it or break it for you. If you take a cunt on the trip with you and she turns that just destroys everything. It just ruins the whole experience.
Yeah, well, that isn't going to happen. I'm not taking anybody. I don't want to even spend time with family or nobody.
Just by yourself.
Yeah, just want to get the fuck away.
Look at you lone wolf.
Dude, I honestly have really thought about it. I've really thought about even not taking my phone, anything.
Really?
Just get off the grid
that's a whole disconnect.
Just get off the grid for a minute. My biggest fear, I'll never get back on. I will end up fucking being the Unabomber. I'll be in the woods.
You'll find a little shack somewhere, an abandoned shack, and go, you know what? I could make this work.
Nah. And I'd probably be, if I could get away from technology just for a while, I probably wouldn't want to get back to it. I really think that because I'm so tired of, I've literally been studying for 30 years now.
Right.
To where I don't want to study anymore. I don't want to learn new shit. We got this new piece of software 2 weeks ago. And I looked at it 15 fucking times. And then I just threw it to my son. I said, here, you fucking learn this. And that's never been me.
Yeah, but that's a burnout thing, though.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, here just recently, I've been kind of lax about, I've had small projects around the house that I wanted to do. And I just have put them off and put them off and put them off. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, no reason, no rhyme or reason, I just got up one day and go, you know what? I'm going to get this done. And then I moved on to the next thing. And I'm going to get this done. And I moved on to, it's like, what? I wonder what I was waiting on, because some of these little projects only took 45 minutes, just small things around the house,
It's so funny you bring this up, man, because I literally for the last about month have been doing the same thing. You know me, I keep my house like a fucking hoarder. I just have boxes and shit all over the place.
Right.
Because I'm just not that guy. I'm not the guy that's ever going to wander around and be like, oh shit, this is out of, like, you're that guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy that would see a cup on a table or something, and it will drive you nuts if you leave it. You cannot leave it there.
You're absolutely right.
And me, that motherfucker can sit there till the mold looks like a chia pet, and I don't give a fuck because I'm like a college student. I really am. But I just got one day, probably a month or so ago, I'm walking around my house well, really, I have you may or may not remember this, you probably don't, but next to my couch, I have a little table. There's just a little small table that's supposed to be for remote controls, maybe a pen, stuff that I would need, through the course of a business day, just maybe to throw a drink cup down next to. This motherfucking thing looked like a hoarder table. Mm-hmm. It had CDs on it. It had books on it. It had mail for the last 4 to 6 months that I should have just thrown away, but I just kind of stack it up.
Right.
And it was to the point that the table was unusable. And I was like, that's where it started, was, all right, I gotta just start by fixing this. And then I looked at the hearth in front of my fireplace. I was like, all right, it's about time to get this thing fucking cleaned up. And, so now I'm in the process of like straightening things up. And, I have this, this is so stupid. And this just shows what a lazy piece of shit I am.
Well, it's a mental thing.
It is, but I have this TV in my bedroom. It's an old fashioned TV, not a flat screen.
Right.
Old box, but it's a huge.
It's a CRT.
Yeah, but it's huge. It's I think it's like 40-inch screen. It's a big one.
Wow, that is a big one. I bet it's heavy as hell too.
Well, that's why it's still in my room. I have, honest to God, it was given to me by a friend, my one friend, and when I first got divorced,
yeah,
12 years ago or whatever, she gives me this TV because I really was starting from nothing. I didn't have a bed, I didn't have a TV.
I gave the ex everything.
Yeah, and she was like, I've got this old TV. If you come and get it, you can have it. So I went and I got it, me and my friend Scotty, and it took both of us to get this fucking thing in the house because it's so
only imagine.
It's got to be over 200 pounds because I can lift 200 pounds pretty easily, but I mean, not easily like, hey, I'm throwing it around, but I mean, I can.
You can lift up on it.
If I get under it, I can lift it up and carry 200 pounds.
Sure.
I can't lift this thing by myself. I'm literally looking around the house for like a fucking skateboard or a fucking something to wedge under this thing to drag it out, or a wagon in the backyard or something.
Right.
And I just don't have anything. This fucking thing has been sitting on my floor for 11 years.
Right.
It's time to go. It's time to go. And I just have to, I'm forcing myself, even if it's 10 minutes a day.
Right.
I'm forcing myself to do that. I'm forcing myself to do the yoga every day again, even though I'm not especially liking it. But, just trying to get back some semblance of, I don't know, rhythm. I don't know if you ever get this way, but I do often. I get really out of rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
And you know this from the way I sleep. I don't sleep right, so that throws me completely out of rhythm. This week as an example, I got up one day at noon, one day at 8. I've been up today, and I didn't go to sleep. I didn't take a nap today, but I've been up since 4 a.m.
Okay.
And I only went to bed at like midnight. Like I only slept from midnight to 4 last night, and I've been up since. I'm just, there's no rhyme or reason to my life, and it really fucks you up.
Sure it does.
Because you don't have any sense of, well, you eat at this time and you work at this time. I have none of that. My life is just a fucking tornado. and I'm trying to get it back by doing some of the, and quite honestly, and again, this makes me sound like a piece of shit because, well, I am, I guess, but, some of the things that I could be doing that would give me some order, I've fucking found ways to get around doing.
Right.
I spent $800 on a fucking Roomba so that I wouldn't have to fucking vacuum my house. I just push a button on my phone and it vacuums the fucking house for me.
Right.
And it doesn't even have to be changed or nothing. It just, when it fills up, it finds its way back to the charging station or whatever, and it makes some kind of noise and it empties itself. Once a week, I got to go in there and throw the little bag thing away and get another one. But I mean, that's the kind of shit that I should probably get an old-fashioned vacuum, and on fucking Saturday morning, instead of dicking around doing CMS shit or whatever I'm doing, I should be like, I got to fucking vacuum the floors, or, like human beings do.
Right, of course.
I just get I'm very out of sync, and I'm trying to get back into sync a little bit.
It's called complacency. You become very complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
and
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
And it's. I did not realize how hard it would. I guess I never really thought about it. It happens kind of organically. Man, getting back into a rhythm is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is just everything. Dude, I can't tell you how many days I sit there and I'm like, all right, if I don't work out first thing before I even get a cup of coffee, I gotta have a standing order. Take a piss, do my exercise. If I don't do that, then I'm dead. And it just ain't happening. It just isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, if you don't get it done at the time you think you need to get it done, it just doesn't happen. I get that.
If I'm sleepy or whatever, I'm like, well, I'll just drink one cup of coffee, then I'll do the workout. No, I'm fucking done. I might as well just go and sit down and work, because I'm not gonna do the workout. It's just not gonna happen.
Right.
And getting back into a rhythm is killing me right now. But whatever, I'll get there or not. And Jim, there's no chance I'm going to retire. I'm going to die at my desk. Who are you kidding?
I'm retiring here. I was having that discussion with Sal, about retirement. I said, I don't anticipate ever retiring, which is why I got into the whole life coaching thing, that if I don't go to a job, at least I would still do like that,
right.
to have something going on,
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like thinking about, well, I'm going to retire and I'm going to, cash in on my IRA and I'm just going to live like that. It's like, no, I don't think I'd ever do that. Because the minute you do that, you just start to die. It's just like you got really no reason to live. You got no purpose. You got no reason to get up in the morning.
Right.
And you just kind of flounder. And I don't ever want to be, as far as like the show goes, I mean, I'm glad you're hanging in there as long as we have together. We may do this another 10 years. We may only do this another year. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Anything could happen between now, but we just take it week by week.
Yeah. Well, I know this. As far as this show goes, this will be the last one that I cancel. If you cancel before me, that would be one thing. But
I don't.
CMS would be the last one of the three that I would definitely walk out on.
I look forward to doing this every week. I still do. I still look forward to doing this every week.
I do when I'm in the chair. But I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie about it all. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock when I first wake up. Most of the weeks I'm like.
Yeah, but you do 3 other shows too.
Yeah.
2 with Seth and 1 with Eric, and then you do this show, and then you do all your other stuff. And I can understand that. It's just, plus you do all the interviews through the week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a ton, but
doing the interviews, and then posting all the stuff and processing and all that crap.
Yeah, plus real work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I can understand why it would, you would get to the point where on a Saturday you go, wow, I gotta rise and shine. I gotta sparkle for the fans.
But then when we get in here, then it's fine again. Then it's like, okay, cool, let's rock.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I need to, and again, it's out of rhythm. You remember back even 4 or 5 years ago, I had such a rhythm that I used to do. I would take the nap, get up at 8 o'clock. I'd sit in here. A lot of times I'd flip the camera on and I'd be doing karaoke and just fucking around, but getting myself in the mood.
Right.
So that by the time we hit first segment, I was like, bah, 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 bah. I was like going 1,000 miles an hour.
Right.
And I don't do that anymore because I'm A, I'm out of rhythm, and B, if I do that, then I'm tired in the last segment.
Sure.
And that's one improvement I think we've both made in the last, I would say about 3 years since I came back from COVID. Is that 3 years, 2 years, whatever that is?
3 years.
Whatever that 3 years is. Before that, and it's mostly me. I ain't gonna lie about it. It was me. I was struggling to the finish line a lot. When I hear those old segments back, there's a lot of times where I'm listening and I'm hearing me just going, yep.
But you were also drinking during the show.
I was. That's another. And I stopped doing that when I came back from COVID. I have not done that. I think since I had COVID, I think I've had maybe 3 or 4 beers total.
Right.
On the CMS. I don't drink at all during the show anymore.
Yeah, because that's why, if I have a cocktail on the show, I do it like at the last 2 segments.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's some weeks that I don't have anything at all. I just drink water for the whole show. So it just depends on what mood I'm in, because this is, for me, as far as like relaxing and just really enjoying myself and getting into it. It's the only time I have a cocktail is during the show. Because I don't do that during the week.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm deathly afraid of drinking by myself.
Yeah.
Because I know the last time I was drinking by myself was during the divorce. And you know what a problem that was.
Well,
that was
but
a mess.
But you were sad and you were distressed and all the other things. And that's usually what drives people to drink, as it were,
It's still not an excuse to drink 2 gallons of vodka a week.
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is there's just certain catalysts that drive you to do something that you normally wouldn't just do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still game. If people come over here, like if people wanted to come over here next week, I think SummerSlam is next Sunday. If John and AJ or whatever wanted to come over and have a wrestling party, I'll drink my fucking face off. That's fine. I'm certainly not saying I've quit drinking or anything like that, but I just don't. And anymore, I'm paranoid about getting the DWI. I just don't want to fucking...
Oh, yeah. Well, that's always a concern as well, especially if you're out traveling or driving.
So I don't drink as much when I'm hanging out over at Kelly's house, which drives her crazy because I'll have like 2 drinks over there and she's like, oh, you're not going to drink with me? I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
I got to drive home, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it too. It's like, no.
Well, you're all tucked away in your bed with your big animals.
Exactly.
I got to drive home safely and get home without incident.
In the dark through two cities, because there's no other way to do it. You got to drive through... 3 cities. I got to drive through Kent. I got to drive through Streetsboro, and I got to drive through Twinsburg. All of them are cop infested, as you're well aware.
They are very cop infested.
That is not saying that I've never drove drunk home from her house. I certainly have, but I'm trying not to these days.
I don't want to see you end up on Code Blue Cam.
Well, I don't think I'd get out and shoot the cops now. I think I would just put my arms up and let them cuff me.
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna be shooting anybody, but
sure.
It's different. Getting old is weird. I never thought I'd be this guy. Worried more about my job and worried about I got to get in rhythm. Man, I never worried about that shit as a younger guy.
Right.
Never. Now it's like. Now it's even to the point now where it's like, oh, yeah, do you want to go to this show? Oh, what time does it start? How much is the parking?
Right.
I think about all that shit now, where before it was like, of course, before it was what, $8 for a ticket and $1 to park.
Right, of course.
10 spot, you were there, and another 10 for a case of beer. Good to go.
Right.
Now it's fucking a mortgage payment to go to a show.
Life was so much simpler then.
It was.
It was simpler.
It really, really was, man. It's, I think John is out tonight, either tonight or last night, whenever Sammy Hagar's in town. And I know what he spent on the tickets, and I think he did the Wolfgang. Wolfgang was here on Wednesday.
Okay.
And he went to that show. He's Mr. Van Halen nut. So he goes to that show, but he buys the meet and greet as well. And I'm like, this motherfucker threw like $1,500 to $2,000 into tickets for 2 shows, for 2.
Yeah, well, but still,
that's
$750 a show.
Yeah. I mean,
No way.
Think about it. Wolfie's probably $75 a ticket, him and Steph. And then the meet and greet's got to be $100.
If not more.
If not more, times 2. There's $700 right there.
Yeah.
And then he's out at the, he had to have first 10 rows or something for Sammy Hagar. So he's paying $500 a ticket for that or whatever. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was looking at tickets this week because I'm considering going to see the Black Crowes in October. And they're playing at the Hard Rock Casino over here in shitty ass Gary, Indiana.
Oh, boy.
And I'm thinking, well,
gonna Uber? You're not gonna take your car, are you?
Not to there, but I was thinking, well, do I want to go? So of course I'm looking at tickets, and I'm just so against buying tickets through Ticketmaster or something like that, and getting that little warning, or tickets on the secondary market are probably going to be higher than face value, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
there's high demand.
Yeah. It's like, you're the ones who put them out there pretending it's a secondary market. It's just you putting it under a different company name or whatever. It's like, hate you people.
I know. I hate them.
And so that's my biggest drawback. The tickets aren't that bad as far as cost is concerned, but I'm just thinking, fuck Ticketmaster. I don't want to buy tickets through Ticketmaster.
And there's really no way around it. And then
I know that's the whole thing. So,
and then of course they got hacked this week. That's nice to know. I don't know. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
Second biggest hacking breach in history.
No,
behind AT&T. So if you've ever bought tickets online, your credit cards and everything are fucking out there.
Nice.
Yeah, they're sending. One of our fans actually sent the letter that he got. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Well, maybe we can cover that in another segment.
Yeah, we can because I've got that story actually pulled up. But one of our fans actually got an email or a physical mail from Ticketmaster that his account had been breached, and he needs to call his bank.
So dumb. I haven't bought tickets through Ticketmaster in years, so I'm not even concerned about that.
Well, I know I have. I bought my Bob Seger tickets through Ticketmaster. I bought my Metallica tickets through Ticketmaster. I bought a few through there. I bought my Metallica Pantera tickets through Ticketmaster. The ones in Detroit.
Right.
So maybe I need to call and get a new credit card number put in. Probably
unless your credit card expired or something.
Yeah, I don't even know. Which. See, that's where I get fucked. Is I don't even know which credit card it's on. If it's on my personal ones or Econ IT or, 'cause I like to treat clients to shows.
Sure, of course.
So.
All right. Well, believe it or not, we've already blown through more than an hour.
Yeah.
That was this opening segment, so it went extremely quick. It's just like two old ladies chatting it up on the telephone.
That's right.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump in and take a break here and play a few tunes, and we'll come back and get rocking and rolling. So if you want to get a request in during our breaks, feel free to hit me up with an email, request@theclassicmetalshow.com. request@theclassicmetalshow.com. Send me your request, and if I have time, I will play it for you. So as a tradition here, what would you like to hear, Mr. Aiken?
I'm going to make you go to the MP3 rack because I don't believe this one is on Spotify. But
all right.
I would like to hear the song Steal Your Heart Away from Whitesnake from their Forevermore record.
Okay.
I was listening to that album this week. That's one of the, like the last 8-10 years records. Man, that fucking kicks ass. Yeah, that whole album is kick ass.
Yeah, that actually was a good traditional Whitesnake release from what I remember. Because literally, I have not listened to that in a long time either.
Yeah, I hadn't listened to it in a long time, and I only reason I was able to listen to it was I actually uploaded it to my YouTube music account, and I did a search for Whitesnake. I was in the mood for it, and popped up. I was like, let me listen to this. And I was like, fuck, this is really good. Forgot about this album.
And what was the name of the tune you want to hear?
Steal Your Heart Away.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, if you want to get a request in, hit me up on the email, and Chris and I will be back in just a short segment here. So anyway, here it is. It's Whitesnake with Steal Your Heart Away exclusively here
on your class. This episode of the CMS Network is brought to you by our sponsor, Blackout Coffee. If you are a coffee lover, you will love what they are selling over at Blackout Coffee. Make sure you get yourself some. The only thing woke about this company is the drinker of the coffee, because it gives you quite a jolt. I am a personal fan of the Brutal Awakening Dark Roast, but everybody's a little bit different. Make sure you get what is your favorite today. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use the promo code CHRIA20 to save 20% on your first order. It's that simple. So one more time, blackoutcoffee.com. That is the link, or use the full link if you're going to shop around. That is scrolling on the bottom, and get yourself some of the best coffee that is out there today. Blackout